In today's video, I want to be talking to you about what it takes to make it into an academy in Europe and why I think it is a good route for you to take. Now, it is no secret that some of the biggest names in soccer have gone and played into an academy. And the reason why I think it's so great and challenging to go into academy is for its purpose: to grow your game and take you to the next level. Now, some of the biggest players have played in an academy that have moved on to play in the United States men's national team. Some of the biggest names, as we know, is Weston McKennie, Gio Reyna, and 𝗧𝗠𝗘𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗠𝗣𝗦, who started out in the States and they moved their way into a European academy. So why did they do that? Why did they choose that route? And what did it benefit them? Today, I want to talk about why I think it is really beneficial to play in an academy in Spain and how it can move your game into the next level. As a soccer player who played in Spain on an academy, I want to take you through the steps that you should be taking if you want to take your game into the professional route. The first thing that I really want to talk about is when you are looking for an academy, understand its advantages and disadvantages. Now, why this is so important is if you live in the States, you will be moving all the way across the country, and that is a very big commitment. When you are researching the academies that you want to go into, whether you use Google or referred by a friend, the first steps you should be taking is: how is the coaching staff there? What is the environment? Who are the players? How many teams are around there? Everything that you can think of that you would want to know in an academy. Now, the best ones that you want to look into is making sure that, one, the area around it is a great environment to not just only be playing soccer, but be able to go out and enjoy and explore and not have to worry about much else. The big thing you want to be looking at too is what is the pipeline from those academy players moving on into a higher level. When you're looking at their social media, do they have a lot of signings to other clubs? Do they not have a lot of signings? That could be kind of a red flag to see, like, okay, well, it is a developing academy, but if they don't have a lot of networks and connections, then it's kind of a waste of time to be going there. So you definitely want to see if they are moving kids onto a higher level from the academy. Another thing to also point out too is, does the academy have lots of trials for you to be going in? See, it is really, really good because the point of an academy is obviously to go and trial and try new clubs and see what is around you. Now, if you are getting a lot of game time, either 1 or 2 a week, getting tons of training sessions in, that is really great. But you are also there to not only get film and to learn from them, but to also try out for teams that are in that area. Connection in an academy is absolutely so important. And I think one great thing that you can be doing is using your social media to its max benefit. I would highly suggest you find an academy that uses social media, and the reason why is because if you can keep posting clips on there and having your club repost them, I'm sure it'll get out a lot easier, especially if they have teams that are following them within that area, so that not only are they looking at what your academy is, but the posts that you're making, and they can distribute it out to other people. Use social media as much as you possibly can aside from film while you're out there, because the more that they're posting and reposting about you and posting all these clips, the better it's going to look for you and shine above other players. Now, when you are signing up for an academy, player profiles and CVs are super important. Academies get super excited when you have a great player profile and resume to send them. A lot of times they will ask you for your highlight film just to get a sense of what kind of a player you are. And obviously, personality is a really big, great thing too, because they want to know how you are on and off the pitch. Using any social media platforms such as Instagram, Huddle, Facebook, whatever you can to utilize your film is going to benefit you in a greater way. When I was in academy, some of the most exciting signings that we had is when we had people from national teams who use their social media and were constantly on it, and we had them reposting theirs. Something like that. If you don't have access to that, try to, as I said, keep posting on social media, keep posting exciting clips so that they can keep on reposting them and getting you out. Now, how it kind of works when you are signing onto an academy in whatever country you decide to, there always will be an interview process. So somebody will call you from their agency and they will talk to you and say, hey, we heard you were interested in the club. We'd like to interview you about the kind of person you are. This is where personality comes into play again. Obviously, they want to know not just how good of a player you are, but how are you off of the field, because when you get there, and let's say you are a great player, but your attitude is horrible, you make really poor decisions, they want to know that before you go and spend all this money and they take the effort to bring you in here when there are tons and tons of other players that are wanting to be in the same position you are. Obviously, the interview process will probably take 2 to 3 different times of different coaches and what positions you play. They want to talk about basically your past and what you're looking towards and why you're signing up for them. You have to really make it clear that you are very passionate about making it to the next level. Now, if you are recruited onto that academy, obviously now you start having to think about the visa processing. Now, obviously, the club that you are signing on to should obviously help you in your way, but there are so many different ways that you can obtain visas. And the best way that I would probably say is find your state's embassy and go to them and email and ask lots of questions about it, because it can be a very tricky and long process. Now, I went to Spain, and in other countries, it is very different. There were 3 different ways that we could do it. There was either your TIE card, a pre-visa that you got for a year, whether that was you're going for school or work, or you can go there. And while you are there on a tourist visa, you can actually contact a lawyer who will sponsorship you, and he will lead you through the steps that you should be taking. Now, obviously, when you are contacting your embassy, you need to provide lots of information, such as your passport. Is it a valid passport? Will you have a proof of insurance? Will you have a bank there? Will you have a home? Will you be able to stay somewhere? Will you be able to make enough money? Now, the reason why I think that an embassy is going to be a lot better for you, or getting a ID card before, is going to take off a lot more stress than when you go and enter the country that you are in. Obviously, if you do choose to go the sponsorship route, they will lead you to it, but just know that you are going to have to work on that visa while you are focusing on your soccer and everything else. So I would definitely suggest you getting that all done before you get to where you are. Now, the next topic that I kind of want to go over is kind of a tricky one, because it's a little bit of a harsh reality. And that reality is, the younger you start on an academy, the better. And the reason why I say that is because the purpose of an academy is obviously to grow you as a player and take you to the next level. It's a little bit harder when you're a lot older and you've already kind of been a proven player, knowing what you know and going into there. There's not a lot else they can teach you. Obviously, when you are younger and you're 8 to 12 years, those are when you can really fine-tune their motor skills, getting them intensely prepared, getting them mentally sound, those type of things that you've kind of grown up and you kind of know what you know. It's going to be a lot harder for you to understand what they are trying to teach you. Now, obviously, clubs will have under 8s all the way to U23s, depending on where you go. A lot of times it will be the youth team, the under 23s, and your senior team. Now, I'm not saying that once you reach your teen years, is it just going to be over? Will I have less opportunity? Not at all. In fact, a lot of the under 19s had lots and lots of opportunities and trials with clubs because they wanted to keep them as long as possible. Everybody will have trials, but if you are someone who is straight out of high school and thinking, I don't know if college is right for me, maybe I do want to grow my game and go to an academy, absolutely. I would absolutely suggest you do that right out of high school, because I saw a lot of success with those people in that 17, 18, 19 year range, where as soon as they were out of high school said, I want to go into academy and grow my game. They got lots of trials, lots of clubs looking at them. They had coaches talking to them just because of the age that they were at, because you can see them slowly developing a lot. Unlike me, who when I was in Spain, I was actually 21 years old. Now, I was on the senior team and it was a great experience for me. I just didn't get as many opportunities as the youth team did. Now, something that not a lot of people talk about in an academies is actually, if you have an off season, whether that's the spring or the summer, you can actually contact those academies, whatever country you want to be in, and ask them if you can trial for them. When I was in an academy, we actually saw lots of players coming in and out, seeing if they were fit for that club. Now, why that is great is if you were living in the States, somewhere maybe close to the East Coast, and you're thinking, this is where I want to go, but I'm kind of iffy about it, you can contact them and say, hey, I've been looking at what you guys have to offer. I really like it. I'm just not sure if this is the right fit. A lot of times what they do is they let you stay for 2 to 4 weeks, however long that they want to, and they'll feed you, house you, let you go to the training sessions, maybe play a game, just let you embrace the culture, what they have going on, and seeing the area, what's around you. Remember, it is so important to know where you will be living for an entire year, which is why it's really good to go and trial where you'll be living, how everything is for that period of time to see, okay, maybe I can do this for a year. And sometimes maybe you might go and say, all right, maybe this just isn't for me. But it's good you didn't spend that time and money towards that academy and kind of getting a closer look at what this really is. Obviously, since I have been to Spain, I'm going to be a little bit biased about it. I was in a beach town called Alicante, and the reason why I loved it so much was because I lived on the coast of California, and being a part of a beach environment was sometimes what it felt like home. And not to mention, I think Spain is one of the most beautiful countries. Embracing yourself and culture is so super important, and the way that they lived just kind of makes you feel at home sometimes. So I would definitely, if you plan on finding a country that you want to live in, definitely find a place where you think that it'll kind of feel a little bit homey to you. Now, I was a part of Gerrard Academy, which was a great academy, which was based off in Liverpool, but they had connections all the way over to Spain. And I really enjoyed it just because of how many teams they had and the coaches that really took the time and how many connections they had. They have tons of connections over there. Now, obviously, Spain, it was a lot better than living in Liverpool, because when I went to go play in Liverpool, if you can't handle the cold, it might not be best for you. Now, talking about the soccer portion of it, obviously, if you do get invited to play with an academy, you need to work harder than you've ever worked before. And the reason why is you need to take advantage of the opportunity that not a lot of other players get to take. You are so privileged to be playing in another country and really embracing what soccer is all about. I personally think that it is so great to go and play in a different country because of what they have to offer. It is a completely different ballgame, either if it's down to their Sunday League to their first tier. It really is crazy and eye-opening to see what the game looks like from a different aspect. If you are coming out of high school and going straight into academy, I'm so glad you took that step. And I really hope that you work super, super hard. Remember, it is just you against you, and it is all about being as physical and mentally prepared as you can possibly be. Being away from home can be really hard, but if you can really embrace yourself and where you are, find friends, keep on contacting coaches around there, keep on asking questions, really just being a part of it, it will be so much more of a better opportunity than just going to the practices and then sitting at home all day long. At the end of the day, you are doing this because you want to be a standout player, so when you come back, you can get as many other opportunities to play in either a high Division 1 or go all the way to a professional club. Overall, it is so absolutely rewarding to go play in an academy in Europe, and I would highly suggest that you take the time now, especially parents, if you're watching this and you're thinking that you want your kid to take it to the next level, especially professionally, I would absolutely suggest you reach out to an academy in Europe and see what they have to offer and what kind of pipelines they have to really get them where they need to be. Thank you so much for watching the video. Please leave a comment down below if you have any more other questions about this topic or if you have anything else soccer related so that we can reach out to you and help you in the best way possible.